This is what I love about Scorpios. And this is why you should love Scorpios too. Shut up. I made a Scorpio video kind of like this on KRS channel a while ago. To most of my dismay, people didn't fucking like it. So that happens sometimes. People just don't like my shit. Which is okay, I guess. You know, can't please everybody. These fucking lights in like the wrong place. So, Scorpios are the 8th sign in the zodiac. So Scorpio ruled over the 8th house. They are ruled by the element water, not fire. They're actually ruled by 2 planets. In some form of astrologies, it's only one, and that one would be Mars. In Western astrology, which is what I follow, what I do, it would be ruled over Mars and the fake dwarf planet Pluto. Now, Pluto in astrology is very important in a lot of different things. In my mind, Pluto is still a planet. And I know it's been a while since we've had this debate, but whatever. For all intents and purposes, Pluto is very important right now, as far as Scorpios go. I think of Pluto, you think of Hades. Mars, you think of Aries. Aries is the god of war, which is Mars, and so that really rules over Aries, obviously. But also Scorpio has this war mentality. Scorpio also has this Plutonian mentality, which in a way is all about self-discovery, mystery, delving deep into the mysteries of the world, being fucking Hades and living alone in isolation, shit like that. Most Scorpios I've found are super fucking proud of their sign. Like, you're like, I'm a fucking Scorpio. I am so cool. And you're like, yeah, you are. You're a Scorpio. You're deep and destructive and mysterious and crazy. But yeah, so my husband's a Scorpio, and he is so handsome and sexy. People relate the Scorpios to sex a lot, and it is because the Scorpio rules over the genital area that kind of creates this image of them that they are very sensual and very sexual. Well, they are very sensual, they are very sexual, but it's not the case that most of them are pouncing on hoes and tricks all the time. Fucking, they gotta have sex so much they're hiring prostitutes. That's normally not what Scorpio is all about. Scorpio is more about having deep, loving, committed sex with somebody of importance. And it's not every Scorpio in the world, but it's most of them, and it's because sex is an important factor in their life. It's important, and normally things that are important are not just thrown around frivolously. That's what makes them a water sign. They have a deep emotional connection to sex, which is fantastic, especially if you're a lady. Getting seduced by a Scorpio man is like every fucking lady's dream. As I said, the Harlequin romance novel, these men with their beautiful lanky arms and lanky hands and just trying to touch you, and you're like, no, yeah. I love Scorpios because they're very loyal, and something that their polar opposite sign and them have in common is loyalty. Taurus and Scorpio don't seem to trust a lot of people. They trust very few people. Together, they have that similarity, but they are the polar opposite. Where a Taurus is self-materialism, comfort, beauty surrounding them, it's like to be safe. Scorpio is, the opposite in that way of almost not safe, almost cold, searching for comfort and all these things in other people. They do expect their partner to be very loyal to them. And if you do something bad, they will hold a grudge forever. The one thing that Scorpio has is patience. And I've said this before. And patience is a very, very compelling trait in someone. It almost seems slow moving. But when you think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, this person is so fucking patient. They are willing to wait for the love of their life forever. You know, a lot of Scorpio men, even Scorpio women, get married way later on. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio, who's so sexy. They don't have the need to jump into anything. They carefully plan out their lives, and they're very patient, and they don't need to jump into anything. If they want to destroy you, if you take something that's theirs, if you hurt them in any way, if you use something that they love against them or somebody that they love against them, they will calculatingly destroy you. And so you're like, at first you're like, oh, I'm playing on the defensive, I'm like, I'm gonna destroy this Scorpio, and I'm so excited. And then slowly, over years and years and years, you start getting scared. You start panicking. The Scorpio's coming after you to destroy you in some way, shape, or form. And hello, it's like a fucking superhero in the real world coming to destroy the bad person. They're just so mysterious, and they're just so interesting and complex. And I get a lot of questions, how do you attract a Scorpio? Well, you attract them by being your fucking self and not being a liar. They like quirks, they like differences, they like a good argument, they like somebody who thinks for themselves. So by asking me how you attract someone, you're actually asking me how not to be yourself, and then ultimately you won't be able to attract them. They can smell bullshit. Honestly, at young ages, Scorpios can be pretty mean, pretty angry, pretty depressed, but as they get older, they have worked through their issues because they know they have to, because they're very internal people. They're not the ones who are going to spew out information. They're going to expect certain things from you, but they are mysteries within themselves, and they're worth getting to know. You're not just upfront with who you are, and it's not saying that you're a liar about who you are. Some may see that in you, but this means that you're protective of yourself, and you don't just give yourself freely. So when you actually do, it is really fantastic. It is something that people really like to see, and it is a surprise, and it's exciting. It's not something that is ever taken lightly with a Scorpio or anyone with those Plutonian type things. You are somebody that people want to spend their lives with, and they want to spend their lives making happy and being intrigued by. And it doesn't hurt that you're fucking sexy. When I said in my hate videos that there's either half of the population of Scorpios are either creep bags or half of them are super sexy, I mean that in the way that, because sometimes a Scorpio doesn't know what to do with their sensuality, and it can become misconstrued in sort of a creep way. But for the most part, I have learned that even Scorpios, who some are like, oh my gosh, this Scorpio is so creepy, you have half of the other people being like, you know what, that creep bag is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I want him to creep all over me. Lots of people have always been attracted to my sister and any other Scorpio woman I meet, and they just don't know why. They're like, wow, she's just so compelling, she's just amazing, I have to be with her, I don't know why. And it's like this mystery they have to understand. The worst thing that Scorpios can do is they get down to the bottom of your mystery, and then they decide that they don't like it anymore, and they leave. And the best way to keep a friendship with a Scorpio, and to have a Scorpio keep a friendship with you, or even a relationship or love or just some sort of trust, is that if you consider everybody as a mystery, as an onion that you can never fully understand, you can spend the rest of your life with a Scorpio trying to get to know them, and they can spend the rest of their life enjoying trying to get to know you. And you never really feel like you ever really know the person, but that only makes the excitement that much more strong. And that's what I love about Scorpios.